All right, I am officially live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics. Sorry I haven't made a video in a couple of days. I actually am just officially now, after 3 days straight, getting over the worst migraine I've ever had my entire life. It was quite interesting, and in that time period, there was one of the stray cats. I actually did a post the other day showing a picture of this cat, where somehow maybe its foot got run over or something, but all of a sudden cannot walk on its right paw, so we've taken him in to take care of him as long as it takes. So I've been a little preoccupied. I've been bedridden for the most of it, but still got to feed the cats. But to anybody out there, this is my PGX unboxing. For the first time, I think, ever, the box is damaged. Now, obviously, that's not PGX's fault, but we're going to make sure, and we're going to find out live if the damage on the box interferes with the comics at all. I've never had, knock on wood, any of my slabs ever come back cracked or anything, so let's hope we keep that trend going. But I always give full disclosure. I do not get paid by PGX to do this. I am under no obligation to say anything other than my experience. There are no contracts signed, so I make sure I make that clear all the time. The benefit for me is they allow me to send in 4 books per month. It used to be for free, but unfortunately, because I'm not giving them a lot of revenue, which is, you know, it's understandable. They're charging me now $50 a month to get all 4 done with signature verification if need be, with pressings and dry cleanings. And I have some Patreon members that I've just received recently that are helping support to be able to do that. One of the things I have now decided to do is anybody that wants to become a Patreon member, obviously you don't have to, but I did put the link in the live chat. It'll also be in the description of this video. But anybody that joins my Patreon and does as low as $2 a month, so it doesn't have to be anything big. There's no new information there, because I do not believe in people having to pay for information that I can give you freely here. But what I will do is, as long as they are members from anywhere from $2 and up, I will do a shout out on every video that I do. So what I'm going to do is, until the people that are Patreon members tell me otherwise, I'm just going to use either their first name or part of their username, unless they tell me specifically they want me to do a full name, because it might help promote their business. So unless I forget, every video I'm going to do a shout out to the Patreon members. So I am fortunate enough to have 4 Patreon members. So the shout outs go to Carl, Sith, Scott, and the one that contacted me and said they want their information out, and I hope you'll join them if you have Instagram, Silver Age Surfer _comics on Instagram. Go check them out. Tell them that you came from We Love Comics. And I'm going to do this from now on as long as people are Patreon members. So if you want to become one, you could promote any business as long as it's adult. You know, it's, you know, not just adult content. I want it to be for all ages. I have no problem helping promote, and that's my way of giving back to people and saying thank you. So we see a couple of people in here. If you want to hit the thumbs up button, that's awesome. If not, perfectly fine. But let me put on the video camera so we could do the live unboxing. Now, each month I send 4 books in to PGX to get graded, pressed and dry cleaned, which I recommend with any company. Get your books pressed and dry cleaned. Signature verification if it needs it. And the benefit for me, like I said, even with the added $50, you know, I'm still getting a decent discount on the grading process whenever all is said and done. The benefit for them, hopefully they'll get some business. So please, if you want to use PGX, if you use the code We Love Comics Free Press and send in 10 or more books, you will get one of them pressed for free. It is a one-time, first-time offer. And also, because of my idea, you can add grader's notes to the back of the slabs. I wish all grading companies would do it, but PGX listened to me, and I appreciate it. But for $5, use the code We Love Comics grader's notes, and they will put the grader's notes right on the back of the slab. I like that because it makes them, it makes a company more likely to be as accurate as possible because it's right there on the slab. And plus, if you ever have to sell it, people don't have to guess what's wrong. They could see it right there, because not all companies, even though they can do it for free on a website, they don't always put grader's notes, and then you have no idea what's wrong with the book. And that isn't always the case just for 9.8s. So as you can see here, the whole corner got crushed in. So I mean, PGX's packaging has always been top notch. So I am pretty confident that they will not be damaged, but we're going to open it live to make sure. But that's actually the most damage I've ever seen on a PGX delivery, and I've been dealing with them now for over 6 years. So luckily they put padding on the bottom and top, which I'm sure will help protect the books. Now, I'm not going to look at the grades. I don't know what the grades are. I always base my grades on what I think it will be after a pressing and dry cleaning. They add the 4, these are like very clear, they're self-adhesive coverings. And then you can see they add the blue cellophane, which keeps it moving. So I'll go over each one. I'm just going to look from the back. I don't see any cracks, so that's a good sign. But obviously we'll go over each one. I'll tell you what I paid for it, what I either predicted the grades would be, or what a seller claimed it to be. And we'll see, how close and how accurate we are. I love doing this. I make sure it's advantageous for me, make sure it's advantageous for them, and definitely want to make sure I do not disclude all of you, or should I just say, I want to make sure I include you with those discounts. So make sure you use those codes also in the description. So let's give a quick little hello to everybody in the live chat. And if you want to join the live chat, I always do a surprise subscriber shout out at the end. You don't even have to be a subscriber, you just have to be in the live chat. So I encourage people to join in and have a conversation. Well, let's say hi to Gotham City Comics, Sith Lord. It says, glad I made it on time. Welcome, glad. We got Hoppy A and James Logan. So welcome to you guys. And let's get this rolling. Now, it looks like on my end, as usual, the camera has frozen. So let me just try something really quick, because if you bump into the camera, it will freeze. All right, so let's move that measuring tape out of the way so it won't be frozen for long. Let's get into the books. These are all Mark Jewelers variants. I am really looking forward to the grades. I don't know the grades, but I know from talking to Daniel the week ago, one of the grades that I was told was a high grade isn't going to be. And I was told it was a high grade from the seller. What a surprise. But let's find out, because I did not want to know the grade and he did not tell me the grade. So let's start this up. And it looks like it froze again. Okay. Hopefully it's not freezing on your end. Alright. Can you guys see me moving at all? If you could let me know. I apologize. There's always got to be something. Alright. So let's get into it while I still have the ability to film. Alright, so the first one, we got X-Men number 266. Like I said, this is the Mark Jewelers variant. I make sure I check all of these before I send them out. Now, the seller said it was around a upper mid-grade to high grade. I paid $331.09 for this book. It is, like I said, a Mark Jewelers variant, so you can tell it's a newsstand. And now you can't tell it's a Mark Jeweler unless they mark it down. but I do know it is because I did check. All right, Kim says it does not freeze, so it's just on my end. All right, so I predicted between an 8 and a 9 with off-white to white pages, so I knew this wasn't going to be a 9.8. But I love collecting the Mark Jeweler variants. They're ones that I definitely recommend people can get, and they are about approximately 5% of the total print run of a comic. So if you think, like for example, Copper Age books are overprinted, well, if you get the newsstand, it's a lot less. If you get the MJ variant, it's a heck of a lot less. So that's why I focus on these. Now this, of course, is the first quote-unquote full appearance of Gambit. I mean, that is debatable. There are going to be people that are going to say the annual is his first true appearance because he's in more than one scene and he is communicating in it. But this is the one everybody wants, especially since he is on the cover. Always loved Gambit. Haven't seen the X-Men cartoon series. Unfortunately, I've been told it's a little too DEI inclusive, just not my kind of thing. But if it's yours, hey, more power to you. So let's get into the first one. I said between an 8 and a 9. Survey says... So there we go, an 8.0. Definitely fine with that. They did mark that it is a newsstand edition / Mark Jewelers insert. First full appearance of Gambit. Off-white to white pages. That's what I said. So starting off with an 8.0, not a problem with me at all. Again, these are the rarest of the rare of those particular books. So definitely looking forward to seeing where these go. All right, next up. Now this is the one I was told by the seller, who they swore up and down, this is super high grade. Now I've been told that's not the case, but I haven't been told what the grade is. So this, of course, is New Mutants 98. It is not only the newsstand variant, it is a Mark Jewelers variant. I paid, after going back and forth with the person, paid $809.67. So it would have to be at least a 9.2 for me to at least break even. But we'll see, because I predicted between a 9.4 and a 9.8. And let's find out. Alright, so 9.2. So, you know what? In the end, I'm not going to complain. It is definitely not as high as the seller led me to believe. But a 9.2 with white pages. What did I say? I said white pages. So a 9.2 with white pages. And they did mark the newsstand edition / Mark Jewelers insert. So I am perfectly okay with that. Oh, and I forgot to read the graders notes on the other book. So I'll do that other one first. So the 8.0. Because like you could see, thanks to Daniel Patterson, the owner of PGX, listening to my advice, I asked them if there's a way they can do the graders notes on the back. It's a $5 charge, but you use the code We Love Comics graders notes, and they'll add them to the back of the slabs. So for this book, the graders notes say multiple stress lines along the spine, minor cover wear. So you know me, a lot of times I say, and it doesn't always, like I'm not searching for it, but if I'm going to have damage on a book, I'd rather have it on the edge, because especially when it's encapsulated, you're not going to really see it. Sith Lord says, I only have one Mark Jewelers, X-Men 266 all day. Yes, this is a great one. Definitely books I highly recommend to get. And I think I only had one myself. But then all of a sudden I started getting into them this year. And I got a bunch of them just this year alone. Which, by the way, all 4 books that I'm showing, I got this year alone. But they're definitely the rare of the rare. So this one, like I said, even though it's quote-unquote only a 9.2, for a 9.2 newsstand and a 9.2 Mark Jewelers variant, you know, I'm going to do pretty well on this book, especially over time. So, like I said, for the price I paid, if it would have been a 9.8, I would have made a steal. But that is not the case. As long as it's a fair grade, I'm perfectly happy with it. So I don't want a 9.8 if it's not deserving of it. So I'm happy with a 9.2. So the graders notes say multiple minor stress lines along the spine. Light 1/8 inch corner crease, top right corner of front cover. Doesn't break color or anything like that. Oh, it does. Okay, it's microscopic. It's actually something, unless you have a certain angle in the light, like the very tip, there's a tiny little color break increase, which I could see if you miss, because only in a certain angle can you notice it. So 9.2 it is. All right, last two. All right, we got Secret Wars number 8. This is another upper to mid grade. This is another newsstand / Mark Jewelers variant. Definitely a book worth acquiring. I paid a total of, where is it? $226.95. I predicted after pressing and dry cleaning it would come out between an 8.5 to 9.2. So not super high grade, but again, for Mark Jeweler variants, you know, especially key books like this, definitely worth taking the chance on getting, and they're going to be the rarest of the rare. As far as the printing is concerned, let's see what the grade is. All right, so this one's a little bit lower. Again, don't care as long as it's fair. Oh, I like that. Don't care as long as it's fair. So it is. They did mark newsstand edition, Mark Jewelers insert. They marked it with white pages. I said white pages. So of course, first appearance of the alien symbiote. Later, of course, becomes Venom. Let's go over the grader's notes. We got multiple stress lines along the spine. Seems like every comic of mine has that. Paper pull, very slight hole in front cover. I wonder where the hole is. Don't ever say that if you're on a date, because you won't get a second. Well, unfortunately, they didn't say where it is. But okay, again, 7.0 white pages, newsstand variant. Paid a little bit over $200 for it. You know what? Still going to do decent. All right, so last but not least, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 238. Again, the newsstand variant, Mark Jewelers variant. Now, and this is another one where the seller told me this was going to be a high-grade book. Now, actually, the New Mutants 98 I paid $8.56. This one I paid $8.09. So, I guess I'll find out if I overpaid, because there is a greatest notes on the back, so it's definitely not going to be a 9.8. But even still, for this one, it's a rarer book, because it does have the tattoos, and it's the Mark Jewelers variant. So this is a rarer book. So I said between a 9.4 and a 9.8. Let's see what the survey says. All right, so there we go. 9.4. Definitely not going to be disappointed with that. Let's see. Okay, so they did mark down newsstand edition, Mark Jewelers variant. First appearance of the Hobgoblin. They did mention the tattoos intact. So the tattoos insert is intact. They did mention that. Off-white to white, what did I say? I said white. So I was off a little bit on this one. So of them all, this one's the best one as far as grade is concerned. So I think I should do pretty well on this one. I mean, who knows if they'll ever have Ned Leeds ever turn into the Hobgoblin, at least this version. But again, you know, certain characters you don't need a movie, you know, to have desirability. And again, with Mark Jewelers variants, you're talking 5% of the print run. So I mean, just think of the regular edition of this book. How many of them don't have the tattoos in it? Then think about just the newsstand variant. How many of them again don't have the tattoos in it? And now think about the Mark Jewelers newsstand variant. How many of those don't have the tattoos in it? So Kim says, Amazing Spider-Man 238 for $8.09. Wow, 9.4. Yeah, so it seems like I lucked out on this one. The other ones, I probably broke even or did a little bit, you know, I did okay. But I think this one I did pretty well. I don't know how much a 9.4 of this one goes. But at least if I go to sell this, and because I always do a preview of these books when I get them, you guys know that this isn't some bait and switch comic that some other grading company that shall remain nameless might potentially switch them out. Because I checked these, for both tattoos and the Mark Jewelers variant. Sent it in. They have it labeled that the tattoos are inside and the Mark Jeweler insert is in there. So if anybody ever bought this from me, if I ever sell it on an auction, you know that you don't have to worry about cracking open the slab and it not being what it says it is, like certain companies out there that most people seem to just give a free pass with. So those are the 4 books. So I would say, oh, let me read the greatest notes on this one. Not a lot. It just says several stress lines along the spine. I mean, that just means, you know, somebody must have read it along the way, which is what comic books are supposed to be for. So 9.4, definitely not complaining about that. The others, like I said, as long as they're fair, but it also shows you got to be careful with sellers. You know, they're going to try and make everything to be bigger and better than they claim it to be. And, you know, as they say, buyer beware, caveat emptor. But, I mean, it's not like they said it was, they didn't say a specific grade, but they said high grade. Which I guess if you think about it, the 9s is in the near mint range. I mean, I think 9.4 is near mint. And 9.2 is near mint minus. So, you know, near mint in the grand scheme of things is still a pretty decent book. I mean, especially when you're talking a book like this, came out in 1983, where I was 12. The rarity of this book to have the tattoos and the Mark Jewelers insert, definitely a book not many people can say they have. I worked out a deal, and we'll see where it goes. But definitely books I highly recommend. So I want to thank everybody for taking the time. Like I said, and I'll post here if you want to join my Patreon. Anybody that joins my Patreon and pledges just $2 or more, every video I do from now on, I will give a shout out, either just a part of your name if you don't want your full name revealed, or if you have, like, for example, Silver Age Surfer _comics on Instagram told me that's what he wants to mention, I'll make sure I do that every time. So join my Patreon. It helps contribute to keeping this channel alive, and also helps support all the stray cats that I take care of. If you haven't seen that video, I did one a couple weeks ago, and we have another cat that we took in that we're taking care of, and he could stay in as long as he needs to, because with a broken paw or whatever's wrong with his paw, not going to last very long hopping along a busy road or anything. So thank you to anybody that joins. But like I said, I have 4 Patreon members, and they will get shout outs every video I do, and you could be one of them if you want to. All right, so let's do today's surprise subscriber shout outs. We're going to go with Luke as one, because I always do 2, and we're going to go Hoppy A. So both of you are today's surprise subscriber shout outs. So what does that mean exactly? Well, it means you don't have to be a subscriber, but if you choose to be one, that's awesome. But when this video uploads, in the comment section, you could post a link either to your YouTube channel or a specific YouTube video you've done. If you'd rather do a link to one of your social networks, like Instagram or Facebook or X, you can do that instead. Or if you sell anything on Amazon, Etsy, any of those other places, if you want to promote something you sell, not a problem at all. Keep in mind, it all has to be stuff for all ages. It doesn't have to be comic book related, but that's going to work best here on a comic book channel. But I mean, if you have a YouTube channel that tells people how to clean carpets, or if you have an Instagram that promotes, you know, picnics and stuff like that, as long as it's suitable for all ages, I have no problem sharing it. Keep in mind, all links will go directly into spam right away. So if you hit enter in a comment, it will not show up because I have to verify it. This keeps trolls and spammers from coming to my channel promoting like adult sites and garbage like that. So if you do see a link in the comment section, it means I did approve it. So go support them. Show them that you appreciate you know, the little time and effort they take to watch one of my videos. It's very humbling. So if you want to make a comment about the AI art, please do. If you look on the bottom of the screen, you'll see things like Batman 2, Wonder Woman 1, Showcase 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 first print, etc., etc. These are all books I'm looking to try and acquire, and I'm willing to do it via trade. I did a video back in November of like at least 30 different graded books that I would be willing to trade to get any or all of those books. So it's a good way to save yourself taxes by doing trades. keep, you know, governments out of our business and be able to do something where both parties will benefit. So if you've seen a video, like for example, if one of the comics I showed in here today that isn't on my video that I made back in November, if you say, well, that Amazing Spider-Man 238, I need that included in the deal to get something done, I will at the very least consider it. So if you see one of my videos and there's a book that you might be interested in doing the trade with that I didn't put in that video, you could mention it. Worst I could say is that one's not available for trade. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Give our shout-outs a shout-out. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about these books. And tell me if you have any of these MJ variants. And if you didn't know anything about them, check out my other videos that I talk about them. Because, especially like I say, when it comes to books like New Mutants 98, they're not rare books. But newsstands are rarer, and Mark Jeweler variant newsstands are even more rare. Like I said, they're about 5% of the total print run. So it's a good way to get a popular character and get the rarer versions, because with there being less of them, people are going to be willing to spend more money to acquire them. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, you only need one person to be interested in your sale to make it worthwhile. So don't focus on the fact that maybe 50 people saw your auction or 100 people saw your auction and 99% of them are not going to ever buy. Who cares? You only need one. So focus on the one and not the majority. And if you do that with all of your life, you're going to be a lot happier. So thanks for sticking around. I appreciate you leaving comments, whether it's live or Memorex. If you know what that is, you're my age. And I'll see you next video. So thanks for watching. And don't forget, it's not you, it is not I, it's We Love Comics. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered.